Hey guys, it's Sendo here. In this video we're going to be going over part 2 of the info document that Raguza posted. This document included many leaks about Deepwoken in the form of pictures. The reason that I've waited a couple of days to do this video was to wait until we could see Agamatsu's video leak. If you haven't watched that video, you can go and watch that first. It will give you some more context as to what I'm talking about in this video. I did record a conversation with my friend Greenhat about this info document, however the audio was corrupted. If you want to check out his channel, he'll be posting Deepwoken content. I'll leave the link in the pinned comment. So the first picture that we get is of a guy lurking around the island of Etria. Captions read, "Etris sure is a long way from home. The island of Etria is one of the largest islands in the Eastern Luminant. Filled with dangerous beasts and proud warriors, you will need to take powers from creatures around you, whether they be players or not." This caption basically says that you can get stronger by fighting other people and NPCs. However, this is something that we already knew, as PvP and PvE are going to be a big part of progressing in Deepwoken. The next picture that we see is of a shrine. Shrines are typically places of worship, however in Deepwoken they probably serve a different function. The caption says, "I'll have to make my way over to the shrine, it's the only way to get back to that place. These shrines are an important link between life and death. Making use of them will prove useful to world travelers." So the first thing that jumps out to me is that he says that he has to use the shrine to get back to, quote, "that place." I believe that he's referring to the depths, which is the place in Deepwoken which is underwater. In the last sentence it says, "These shrines will be useful to world travelers." This supports my theory because these shrines could be used to travel between Etria and the depths. The next thing that jumps out to me is that he says these shrines are an important link between life and death, so they might have some correlation with the wiping system. I'll definitely do a separate video talking about this, because there are a lot of theories that I have that are too in-depth to cover in this video. The next picture that we see is of this boss. This boss is called the Enforcer. It has a massive battle axe and it appears to be about double the size of the player. The captions say, "The end is drawing closer, I can't land a scratch on this thing. Dangerous creatures crowd the seas of Deepwoken. They will prove difficult and sometimes even brutal. Enough power and practice will overcome any challenge." In Deepwoken there are many creatures and bosses, however if you're skilled and strong enough, then you can kill all of them. We've seen a clip of Agamatsu fighting this boss, however it was just a second long, and there isn't much to take away from it. Agamatsu gets flung by the boss, and as the boss approaches, he lifts up his axe and then he executes Agamatsu. There were also trinkets all over the floor next to the boss, which either means that those trinkets are the rewards for killing the boss, or someone else died next to him. The next image that we see is of someone flying with a glider. The captions read, "My glider's looking pretty threadbare. Perhaps it's time I craft a new one." Deepwoken's crafting system will allow players to craft certain gear on the fly. Making use of this will prove necessary to your survival. One important detail is that the glider looks completely different from the gliders that we've seen in the past, which means that they're either just changing the models or you can craft different types of gliders. The captions imply that gliders will have durability, and when your durability gets low you'll have to make a different one. It also stressed the importance of crafting in Deepwoken, and we've seen a woodcutting axe and pickaxes in the past, so maybe the materials that you mine or cut from trees can be used to create shelters or weapons. The next picture that we see is of a little town. The captions say, "One step closer to power. Evangard won't know what hit him." Factions each have their own unique places of residence. Being hated in one place does not mean that you can't be friends with another. The only new piece of information that we learned from this is that there is someone important called Evangard. He could be like an Etrian leader or another important lore figure. It also says that you can be on good terms with one faction and on bad terms with a different faction. However, this is information that we already knew. The next picture is of a person with a pile of wood next to the docks, and it says, "This voyage is going to take some planning. Making sure your ships are equipped to handle the various perils of the sea is imperative. Picking the correct ships for your needs and customizing it will lead to greater success." The caption is basically saying that you can customize your ship for different purposes. For example, if you want to do a stealthy mission and you want to pull up to an island without being noticed, you might want a small ship. However, if you want to go to the dangerous parts of the sea, you might want a bigger ship with a more durable hull and stronger cannons. The next picture is of an island called the Miner's Landing. The caption is, "Well, that was a long slide. Some islands have unique mobility options to assist you exploring, such as the zip lines on Miner's Landing." This basically confirms that parkour and using the environment to help you move around is going to be a huge part of Deepwoken. Not only can you fly from high places with gliders, you can also use zip lines to get up to those high places. It's environmental mobility options like these which make the game more exciting, especially when you're chasing someone or trying to get away. The final picture that we see is of what appears to be an altar. It's glowing pink and it's surrounded by ominous looking lights and fog. The caption says, "This is where my empire begins. Find absolute powers hidden within the seas. They're yours for the taking." I believe that this altar could be where spells are created in Deepwoken, just from the aesthetics of this room. However, it could easily be other things, such as like the end room of a dungeon, where you get like a special item for completing that dungeon. Those are all the pictures that were shown to us in the second Google document. If you want to talk about Deepwoken with a community of people who are just as interested in the game, then consider joining our Discord server. I'll leave the link in the pinned comment. If you haven't already subscribed and you want to see more Deepwoken content, please do that. It helps me out a lot. Thanks for watching guys, and peace out.
They say I'm way too obsessed and I've got nothing left, and I'm not quite there yet, but those words they'll regret, cause I've got something left and I'm not giving in. I will not let them win, I won't stop till the end, no.